What's up guys, welcome back to Own the Hunt. We are here in the studio today to do a full review and deep dive on the Wave Tempest 650 LRF compact thermal scope. Stick around you guys. Well, hey guys, welcome back to Own the Hunt. Thanks for joining me again here in the studio for another product review. Quick little items before I guess we get started with this review, guys. If you wouldn't mind, if you get some value out of this video, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button down below. It helps me a ton. Secondly, I want to give a huge shout out to Logan over at Fall River Shooters. Guys, Logan has helped me tremendously on the channel. You already know that if you follow along, but if you're new here, if it weren't for Logan, guys, I wouldn't be able to review products like this on the channel for you. And so thank you, Logan, for sending out this Wave Tempest 650 LRF for review today. If you guys are in the market for thermal, whether it be a thermal scope, thermal monocular, predator hunting products, tripods, calls, etc., give my man Logan over at Fall River Shooters a call, or you can go to visit the website fallrivershooters.com and tell him Cody from On the Hunt sent you. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with this review. I am really excited for this review. Several reasons why. I guess first of all, this goes back to when I went to Texas in March. Had a great opportunity to go out to Texas and hunt with the team out at Fusion, or I guess I should say Wave Thermal. Guys, Fusion Thermal and Wave Thermal, they're owned by the same people. Fusion is kind of like, you know, it's a very different product line. Wave is the product line that they came out with really for the U.S. consumer market for hunting and your everyday thermal use. To be competitive in the market with products that are out there. So to clear up any confusion there, if you're curious more about that and kind of how the brands differentiate, let me know, guys, in the comments. I'm happy to kind of dive into that more with you. But today's video is really about this Wave Tempest thermal scope. So this kind of goes back to when I went out to Texas, guys. Got a great opportunity to go out and hunt with the guys from Wave. And I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was honestly kind of nervous because I hadn't really heard of Wave at the time. Was really hoping that their scopes would be awesome, and I am very proud and I guess glad to say they are awesome. They were everything I was hoping they would be when I got out there. I got to hunt with them in some extreme, crazy weather conditions, fog, humidity, even some sleet and rain. It was the craziest weather when I was there, you guys. Extreme heat. So like I got to see it all. I got to shoot these units out to 1,000 yards on the long range there in Texas. They do have ballistic calculation built in, so we were able to really put that to the test, along with testing out the rangefinder on these. So it was a great experience, great opportunity, and I've ever since then been testing out Wave units to be able to review them on the channel, but also really just put them through the paces, being that they're a newer kind of a newer product on the market. A lot of people are kind of skeptical about that, and so I've really been testing them. And guys, I'm happy to announce that I've had really no issues. These products are the real deal. Their thermal image quality is the real deal, and we're going to get into that a little bit today. This is going to be a lengthy review, guys. I'm just going to say it now. I have a lot to talk about, and some of the philosophy that's gone into this this compact unit design by the people at Wave. It's worth talking about. So stick with me, guys. I'll be putting video throughout this footage from this unit throughout this video for you guys to see. So yeah. Anyway. And after this video, if you have any questions, please put it in the comments, guys. I'm very open to conversation, love that type of stuff, and I love being able to help you all make a decision of where you should spend your hard-earned money. So kind of first off, guys, let's talk about some of the specs on this thing, get them out of the way. First big spec on this I want to talk about is the new price. Wave has changed their pricing on this recently. They lowered this, I believe, to $39.99 MSRP. That is crazy. A $4,000 compact 640 thermal scope with built-in laser range finding and ballistics calculation. I don't know how you can go wrong. That is extremely hard to beat, and what you're getting out of this unit for $4,000 is pretty insane. So keep that in mind, guys. Only $4,000. There's a lot of competition, but a lot of what's going to stack up to this, and really what this is actually edging out, is going to be more than $4 grand. So huge value here. I really like that Wave came in with a little bit lower price. I think these units are incredible. If you really want my quick and dirty thoughts on this scope, guys, I would absolutely buy this for $4 grand. I'm just gonna say it. If you gave me a choice and you gave me probably between $400 and $4,500, maybe up to $5,000, I'm gonna pick this scope all day, every day. I love how compact it is. It's super small, it's super lightweight. Image quality doesn't, you don't lose image quality because it's so small. So yeah, quick and dirty thoughts. Buy this scope if you're in the market and you want something compact with LRF, ballistic calc 640, 3x base mag. Plain and simple. You can stop watching now. But in all seriousness, guys, let's talk about the real stuff, right? The things you care to come here and learn about these optics. Again, I mentioned this before. This is a 3x 640 base mag scope, 12 micron pixel pitch in this guy, sub 18 millikelvin sensor, just producing a very, very nice image quality all around. Very good performance in poor weather conditions. Okay, it's probably going to be one of the higher performing scopes that I've used in poor weather conditions. But even in premium conditions, ideal conditions, you're getting a phenomenal image out of this scope. Scope runs on two 18650 batteries, you guys. Real quick, talk about this battery door. So a lot of people think this battery door is faulty when they first get them. In fact, I was guilty of that at first. You're gonna have this little tab here that you can press on, and you're gonna notice that it is locked. Essentially, you can't push on it. That's by design, you guys. The design of this scope is that you push a little bit of pressure down on this cap, then you can release that little battery door, and then the battery spring tension on the batteries automatically pushes the cap off for you, and then you've got two key power 18650 batteries in this guy. Now, I like that Wave went with the key power 18650s. I think they're really, really great battery. These are protected, so they're not going to catch on fire on you. They're good quality batteries, and I think that's really important to note because there's a lot of manufacturers out there that don't have your back when it comes to the quality of your 18650s, and they're putting really cheap batteries in these things. They're not protected, so they're catching fire. Pretty big deal. Another thing to note about the battery setup on this guy is that you can put these batteries in any configuration you want, so long as they kind of one is positive down, one is negative down, right? So that it doesn't matter how you put them in. You could put the negative positive down in the bottom, you could put the negative down in the top. Doesn't care, it'll figure it out. The circuitry is pretty advanced in this scope. Then next thing you're going to do, guys, is you're going to go ahead and line this cap up. Now it does have an O-ring on this. This is a very, very waterproof scope, you guys. So this battery door was kind of designed with that water tightness in mind. You're going to line this up. You're going to go ahead and apply some pressure, and then you're going to push pretty hard. All right. So it does take a little bit of a learning curve to get that door lined up. Push it hard. Get it seated really, really nicely. Once it's seated, you can't accidentally bump this button. It's not going to come undone, which I really, really like that, and I appreciate that. The other thing I appreciate is that Wave went ahead and tethered the battery door to the body with this nice micro cord, so you're not going to lose it. So this scope features a 50mm front objective lens, you guys. Beautiful, beautiful germanium lens in this scope. Very, very nice. Comes with a nice lens cap that is movable. You can move it however you like. I don't recommend putting it in front of your LRF, of course, because you're going to block it, but you can put it down against your rail. You can move it over here to the side, right? It does bed back against itself, so really, really good design there. Love that. Next thing I love, guys, you know this about me if you follow the channel, but if you don't, listen closely. This top turret here for focusing the scope is my all-time favorite design. It has the perfect amount of tension and resistance. It is smooth like glass, like butter. It is so nice. It's the perfect size to use with gloves, use with no gloves. Just, you can get on it. You can really manipulate the focus on the scope. Love it. It's the same knob that's featured on that Atris 650 that I reviewed for you guys. Just perfectly done, honestly. Talking about the LRF on this unit, you guys, you've got this big thing that sticks off to the side here. You're probably like, oh, that's kind of ugly. But I gotta be honest with you, it's pretty streamlined with the scope. You really don't notice it. And I gotta tell you, there were some design purposely made decisions about this LRF that I think are really awesome. So initially when Wave developed this scope, this LRF unit was actually shorter and more compact. The problem is by doing that, when you kind of manipulate this with your left hand, when you come up over the scope, you had a tendency of covering that laser rangefinder, and then you weren't getting accurate range readings. And so Wave made a couple of different renditions of this, tested it, and they got the perfect length, right, where it's not sticking way out, it's not, some big obtrusive design, but it's perfect in that you're not going to be covering up with your hand when you manipulate the joystick up top here, or you manipulate your focus. So very, very purpose built. All of the design decisions on this thing are very purpose built, and that's one thing I love about Wave. Like, nothing really goes untouched, right? All the design details, the things that matter, are thought about with a lot of care, right? And I love that. Talk a little bit about this joystick on top, you guys. I just recently reviewed the Wave Horizon 650. That's a dual lens monocular. Love that thing. If you guys want to check out that review, I'll drop a link down in the description below. But it features a joystick just like this unit does. This is kind of one of Wave's signature things with their scopes, at least the compact scopes and the monocular. They're tube style scopes. They don't use a joystick like this, but this is a Wave theme, okay, this joystick. I really, really like the joystick, you guys. On a compact scope, I don't see how you could pack in the amount of features and capabilities that this joystick gives you as far as menu navigation, video and audio recording capabilities, changing your color palettes, zoom in and out digitally. Like, all of those things this joystick can do. On top of that, it can completely navigate your menu systems. So if you want to go in, you want to change your contrast, you want to change your brightness, you want to change your sharpness, your clarity, you know, you want to choose between meters and yards in your laser rangefinder. Every single one of those features is done and manipulated through this joystick. Literally one button. Like one button. And I don't think there's a way that you could stay this compact without something like that. Otherwise, you're going to have a tiny little mashup of 4 or 5 buttons that's going to be incredibly difficult to use. So guys, I love the joystick application on this tiny little compact scope. It's awesome. The button does click, so a double click is going to get you into your menu. Then you can go ahead and navigate. Something very, very cool and unique about this joystick is that it's got sensitivity adjustments. So if you want to adjust how difficult, or I guess how much pressure it takes to, you know, push forward or to push back or left and right, you have per axis sensitivity adjustments. So you can go from like 0 to 200 on a sensitivity scale for forward, back, left, and right, independently of each other. That's a really, really important, that's a really cool feature, and I love that Wave gave you that. Next, obviously, we got this power button up here, guys. So the only other button on this scope is this power button. This is the only other button, and it's also multifunctional. It isn't just a power button. So obviously you can turn on and off the scope with this. I have seen some complaints about how long it takes to turn this scope off. Guys, here's the reason why. You do have to push this power button for quite a while to get the scope to start its turn off sequence. Once it begins the turn off sequence, it's gonna do a 5-second countdown. You don't have to keep holding on to the power button while it's doing that countdown sequence. You can let it go. If you don't push anything else during that 5-second countdown, it's gonna shut off. But it gives you 5 seconds once it starts that countdown to stop or to abort that power off cycle, which I really, really like. I appreciate that a lot. I love that it doesn't just begin that cycle and then you're kind of screwed. It's powering off. You can abort that with the press of any other button on the scope, whether it be the power button or you maneuver this joystick some way, you'll abort that power off cycle. So why does it do that? It does that because this power button is also your laser rangefinder actuation button, or I guess your activation button. When you press this power button one time, you're going to activate your laser rangefinder, and that's going to be controlled whether you're in scan mode or individual single range mode. Now in this scope, we have full ballistics calculation, meaning you give this scope your ballistics data, your barrel length, your projectile, your coefficiencies of your projectile, your spin rate, things like that, all of the ballistics data that would be needed for ballistic calculation. And as soon as you get a range from this laser rangefinder on single ranging mode, it's going to drop a suggested point of impact or suggested point of aim in your crosshair where you hold, you pull the trigger, you hit your intended target. Guys, it works. Wave has one of the best ballistics calculation I've actually used to date. When I was in Texas and we were ringing steel out to 1,000 yards with the ballistics calculation that they have and their rangefinders, it was pretty much a dead giveaway to me of how capable and how powerful that ballistics calc was. So with that said, guys, 2 buttons on this unit, that is it. Very, very easy to manipulate, very, very easy to use. Love that. Now, something I love also is in the menus, you can turn on or off any other color palettes that you don't want to see in your rotation. So on the scope, if you want to manipulate or change your color palettes, you just press to the right one time on this joystick and it's going to cycle through your color palettes. Now, if you'd only want to cycle through maybe white hot and black hot, and you don't want to have to press this 3 or 4, 5 different times to get back to your original color palette, you can disable all the other color palettes, but except for maybe white and black hot. So I really like that they give you that flexibility in here, and I think that's great. Now, to enable video recording mode, you just press and hold to the left on the joystick. That's going to start a video for you. People always want to know what my audio score is on these scopes, because this scope does feature onboard audio and video, obviously. I'm going to give this scope probably a 7 on the audio score, guys. Not the best, not the worst, totally serviceable, but definitely not the best. Good audio, very good audio, and definitely usable. I would say when we get down into the 5 and 4 range of audio, that's where I start to say, like, it's trash. Like, why did they even put the microphone in the scope? That's not the case with this unit. It's really good audio, definitely usable. I don't think you're gonna buy this and complain about the audio, if that helps your decision purpose. Now, the other thing too, guys, on this scope, I was looking for, when I first got it, I was looking for like a USB port, like how to plug it in, how to charge it, how to get my data, like my videos off the scope if I wanted to use a computer, which you can do, but there's actually no port. And I go back and forth about how I feel about this. Now, with a port, obviously presents a water or moisture intrusion and dirt intrusion area, right? So dust, debris, water, moisture. So when you have a charge port that, even if it has a cover on it or something, you introduce an area where those things can intrude into the device and potentially damage it. Now, Wave actually opted to go for, right in between this rangefinder unit and the battery door, there is a 4-prong, very nice magnetic port, right? It's sealed around the unit. It doesn't, you can't enter that port, right? It's very much on the exterior of the unit. And so what does that mean? Well, that means now you need a proprietary cable to use that port. Wave does send that cable with the unit. It's extremely nice. It magnets to the unit really, really tight, very secure. But keep that in mind because it's proprietary, right? So if you should need another cable, you'll probably have to reach out to Wave. They'll likely just send you one for free if you lost yours or something like that. Look, I go back and forth. I mentioned this, guys. There's pros and cons to all the design and decision, you know, things that go into these scopes. I don't know how I feel. Honestly, I'm at the point where it doesn't really matter. Give me a way to get my data off the scope, to charge the scope, things like that, and I'm happy, okay? So at this point, that's kind of how I feel. I'll keep that charge cord very secure, very safe in my bag or in my, you know, truck with my other cords and stuff. So it's not a huge deal to me, okay? The other thing too, guys, is you can easily take these batteries out, pop them in the dual bay charger that comes with the unit, charge them up. That's how most people do it. That's how you kind of should do it. It does come with 2 additional key power batteries. So I've got 2 in the unit here. I've got 2 here. This scope has a pretty insane runtime. It's like, I don't know, 13 hours or something on 2 of these batteries, 13 or 14 hours. It's pretty nuts. So with 2 packs, like 2 complete sets of batteries, you're talking like over an entire day, over 24 hours of hunting. That's nuts. So that's really cool. But what I was saying is, like, the app for Wave, or the Wave app, is extremely great. Like, it's the best thermal scope app I've used to date. It's my favorite. It's the fastest transfer times, easy to upgrade firmware. Like, it's just great. The live viewing from the app, whether you're using a tablet, whether you're using a phone, is the most real-time app I've ever used. There's no lagginess. There's no, you know, it's not choppy. It's extremely nice. The other thing too is you can change settings in your scope. So if you want to change your contrast, your brightness, all those different settings, you can do it from within the app while you're paired to the scope. So keep that in mind. Like, I can still get all my videos off the scope with the app, even if I lost the cord. I can still charge the batteries, even if I lost the cord. So guys, it's not a big deal. I kind of like that there's literally no port, no place for water, dirt, and debris to get into. So yeah, I don't know, like I said, it doesn't really matter to me. Something I want to talk about is the display on this unit, you guys. This is not a 2560 by 2560 display. Okay, if you look at the specs, you're gonna see that, it's obvious. Does it feel small or tiny when you're using this unit? My answer is no. I have sat behind this scope a good deal, and I've sat behind 2560 by 2560 display scopes a good deal. What I can tell you is, if you have just come from a 2560 display and you're going to this scope back and forth, yes, of course this one's gonna appear a little bit small to you. Now, if you're only using this scope, it's gonna feel perfectly adequate. Nothing about it makes you go like, oh, the scope's small, the screen's small. No, that doesn't happen, okay? You're not gonna feel like you're missing out when you look behind this scope. You're just not. I don't feel it. No part of me when I'm using this scope is like, oh no, like I gotta use this dinky screen. No, that's not the case, you guys. It's done extremely well, and it works really nice. It's got this built-in eye cup. Y'all know I don't love these rubber eye cups, but I don't mind it when it's like built in on a compact scope. It's okay. I would prefer not having it. Now I do know, like, I'm pretty sure you could pull this off. This one doesn't feel like it's, you know, designed to really come off, but I'm pretty sure you could take it off if you wanted. Now, to adjust your diopter, you literally just spin this rear diopter, so you can get your menu text nice and crystal clear for you. Adjust your diopter. You've got a good deal of eye relief on this scope, so you could use this on a bolt gun, use it on an AR. You do have some pretty good capabilities with eye relief on this, so I know that's a big concern of people, so I think they got you covered there. So lastly, guys, I want to talk about the mount on this scope. I love this mount. I don't know how else to say it except I love this mount. The mount on this scope was built in-house by Wave. It's their own mount. I'm not sure who developed it or who they worked with on it, but what I can tell you is it feels premium, and it feels like it was designed and developed by someone who knows mounts. I gotta tell you, like, so you've got this two-tone design, you got this really nice spring-loaded lever here, the right amount of tension. You pull that, you lift it open, quick disconnect, right? You've got your Picatinny jaws here. It does bolt to the bottom of the scope, but you'll notice, guys, this has like a dovetail design under here that is made so that the scope actually rests within the walls of this dovetail, and they don't actually made up to the bottom flat of this mount. That is by design, you guys. Some of the best designs or mount designs on the market, they do that. I know that Wave on their, or Fusion, I guess, which is Wave's kind of second company or a subsidiary or parent company, I don't know how you want to describe it, but I know on their like Avenger scopes, I think they use like a Unity mount, so they partner with Unity for those Fusion scopes, and I know that the Unity mounts work with these Tempest. So if that tells you anything, like as far as how it mates up and fits here is very much like similar to a Unity mount in that way, and I just think it's a phenomenal design. Now, what really excites me about this, I haven't even got to the best part about this mount, you guys, is this quick adjust tension system. So we all know Picatinny rails can vary in width, and no two are the same, guys, and so these mounts need a way to adjust, you know, in minute, very micro adjustments, tension against those Picatinny rails. This one has a really cool quick adjust, pull up, it's spring loaded, and it's got numbers to tell you kind of where you're at with your tension. So like if you have two different rifles and they use, maybe like one uses a number 3, you can quickly pull up and go to that number 3. If one uses a number 6, you can quickly pull up, go to the number 6, and you can remember those numbers and quickly go back and forth between rifles. So I love that. It's one of the easiest. It's toolless, so you don't need any special tools. You don't need an Allen wrench. You don't need anything. You just pull up on this little nice wheel and you spin it to the number, and that's it. Like, it's that simple, and then you just go ahead and pull your throw lever and snap it on your rifle. It's so nice. It also has a really nice recoil lug here built into the mount, so that's going to bed between your pick rail sections, give you extremely good recoil management. It's going to retain 0 every single time. Guys, when you take this scope off your rifle, you put it back on, or you switch between rifles, which this has built-in profiles, so you can make this, you know, zero this to a bunch of different rifles, choose that profile in the menu, go ahead and swap this off and back and forth. This mount's not going to fail you. You know, it's always a good idea to re-zero, but if you're in a hurry or something, I would absolutely trust that if I throw this back on, I use the same tensioning system or tensioning number that I had before, and I choose that rifle profile, it's going to be zeroed, or at least perfectly enough to go hunt coyotes and pigs. I don't know of a compact scope that I really like more. I've used obviously like the Rattlers. I think this scope has it beat all day, every day. I really prefer this over the Rattlers, even the V2s with built-in LRF. I prefer this unit. And for $4 grand, for 640, sub 18 millikelvin, 12 micron, built-in LRF, ballistics calc. It's got it all, you guys. It also has a gallery, so you can view your photos and videos in here, delete them in from the scope, watch them back, like if after you shot something, you watch them back. It's also got recoil activated videos. One last thing I would kind of leave it with, guys, is I think Wave has the best black hot color palette on the market. So I was always a white hot fan. In fact, I still love white hot. Like, it's probably my favorite. But I gotta tell you, when I'm using Wave products, the black hot just satisfies. I don't know what it is. I don't know why some scopes do better on one palette than the other, but the black hot on Wave, whether it's this scope, the Tempest, whether it's the Atris, whether it's the Horizon, it's just primo. It is the best black hot I've ever used, hands down. Whew, Wave. I don't know what you're doing, but the black hot is sexy in this thing. Wave sends you this nice hard case that's covered in like a canvas. It is designed for the scope, so it's got foam molding in here. You get these nice key power cases with your 18650 batteries. Again, you do get 2 full sets of those. You get your proprietary cable. You do get a dual bay 18650 charger, which is in this pouch. I'm not going to open it. You get a lens cloth and an Allen key for putting your mount on the scope. So it's the complete package. It's the real deal, you guys. I know a lot of you are on the fence about Wave. Let this review kind of serve as a peace of mind, right? I've been testing this stuff. I love Wave. You know, I'm not partnered with them. They don't pay me to make these videos. But I do really love their products, and there's a lot to be said about that. I also love the people behind the business. So no two thermal companies are the same, and that's because of the people that run the show. And I gotta tell you guys, the company that Wave keeps, and that means like the owner, you know, the salesmen, the marketing staff, the people running the manufacturing on the US side that are, you know, packaging these up. Wave also, like, they test every one of these 18650 batteries, you guys, in-house in the US, in Louisiana. They test them all. So before they send them out, they're testing these batteries, they're making sure they're good to go. They're testing your units. Their quality control is top notch. They've also got a repair facility in the US, in Louisiana. So like, I was concerned about these joysticks. I mentioned that on my review of the Horizon monocular. Look, after that, I got a call from Chris, the owner, and he's like, hey, I heard what you said about the joysticks on the Horizon. I think that's a fair assumption, but I do want to tell you that since we released these units with joysticks, we've only had one failure. One joystick failure, you guys. I can almost guarantee you that physical buttons on other thermals fail far more frequently. So I don't really know. I mean, all I can say is if they're not seeing failures, that's a great thing, right? And otherwise, you know, if they were seeing failures, they wouldn't keep producing it. So the other good news is they can replace this joystick module for you here in the US. Their turnaround time is phenomenal. Their customer service is phenomenal. And so, like, I wouldn't worry about it. On top of that, this thing has a 5-year warranty. So pretty much like industry best, also industry standard. I say that because pretty much everyone's gone to a 5-year warranty. So it's a 5-year, so you're not getting shorted on, you know, years of service or years of use. It's the full package, guys. Very compact, very lightweight. They also offer this in a 384 model, which is the Tempest 335, which is on sale as well. And they also have this in a dual lens model, which is the Tempest 660D. It's got a collar up here where you can change your lens from, I want to say it's a 25mm and a 50mm, just like the Horizon monocular. So I think it's like a 1.5 and a 3x, both 640. Phenomenal scope. A little more money. I want to say that one's $49.99. But again, you're getting dual lens technology. So literally two 640 scopes in one. So guys, if you're in the market for one of these, or this review kind of swayed you one way or another, hit up Logan at Fall River Shooters. He does have these in stock, as well as other Wave models. So hit him up, tell him Cody from On the Hunt sent you guys. And until next time on On the Hunt, we'll see you later.